and welcome to the ROCKATX online worship experience. You are getting ready to experience God on another level. Whatever you're seeking from God for your life is available for you as you praise, hear the word, and transform your situation. While you're worshiping with us, feel free to interact with our online ministers in the chat and share this broadcast with your friends and family so they can join you online. Also, make sure you subscribe and follow the ROCKATX on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram to stay connected to all the Rock is doing. Now, shake off the worries of the week and get ready to give God some praise. Service will begin soon.
Fear is not something that you can be mentored out of. And it's not something that you have that you can lean on what mama told you, everything else, because fear it's a spirit of fear. Fear takes on a life of its own. But let's talk about this. Let's look at this. Go to my next slide. I'll show you this. So when we look at this next slide, I'll show you something. Today's society, I want to argue for just a minute here, is founded, I want to say, on the concept of fear. If you look at America from Reconstruction to the Civil Rights Movement, to the latest elections, our politics are encased with the politics of fear. It's always they're coming to get us. They're getting our stuff. They're attacking your kids. They're coming to get your things. They're moving into your neighborhood. They're taking your money. They're taking your stuff. Because they understood, and so, psychologically they understand that the politics of fear motivates you to move faster than the opportunity to get or receive. So that means that fear as a motivating factor is stronger than opportunity. So that means that I can look at you and I can say, hey, do you want, if you do A plus B, you can get C every time. I guarantee it. And even with a guarantee of achieving C, fear is the one thing that will cause you to abort C altogether. Even though C is I can rest assured you're going to get it. You're going to get it. So the politics of fear is one where when we look, it doesn't matter which side you look on. Don't matter whether you are a conservative or a liberal. Everybody's talking about fear. They're getting us. They're going to get you. Boogity, boogity, boo. And I want you to understand this. So I can't look at news and I can't look at any type of information today and not be given a shot of fear. Information interruptions are coming in my life because now I have a cell phone, and I have a smartwatch, and I have an iPad, and I have a computer, and I'm constantly being bombarded with information. And the information is they're coming to get us. The information is watch out. Listen, if you eat too much of this, you're going to get cancer. If you drink this, you don't drink this because your head going to blow up. Watch out, your ear's going to fall off. Be careful now. And so listen, the Bible tells us man should always pray, which is an indicator that I'm supposed to be in constant communication with God. But the politics of fear and the information age have allowed me to be in constant communication with fear. Everything. When I pull up my emails, 10 of the 12 emails are fear-laced. Right. Don't miss out. Watch out for them. Be careful. And so now, when I pick up my phone in the morning, because many of us, after we roll out of bed, before we roll out of bed, we reach for that phone. And then we are immediately, before we can say, thank you, Lord, we are immediately bombarded with, watch out. What's happening? They're coming to get you. And so politics of fear, which means that even when I'm not in an election season, the idea of they're coming to get us, I got to make these moves. I got to push this out. This has got to be done, or my life and my future is ended. Information interruption, which means I'm constantly being bombarded with my phone, with my watch. I'm getting dinged and dinged and dinged and dinged and dinged, telling me watch out for things. And then for many of us, the constant feedback from social media, which tells you whether you're liked or not. You constantly are taking pictures of events, and you don't realize it, but you're being enticed to keep checking to see who is commenting on what you posted. And it's interesting, for a society that doesn't like to be judged, we constantly put ourselves in a position to be judged. And you click out and you tell your phone to notify you when somebody is commenting or liking or following you. Am I making sense? Which means that you're under constant scrutiny of the world, and you put yourself there and you think it's normal. Which means physiologically you're experiencing judgment and rejection all day long at the same time. Am I making sense? And then when you put your phone down and say, let me turn on the television, then all you get now is politics of fear. And so now I'm in a constant barrage of information. They're gonna get me. We don't like you. I mean, you didn't like them. They got 29 comments on their picture. Maybe I need to do something different. Everything else, I'm so tired of seeing. Listen, I celebrate the men and women of God who are getting makeovers. I celebrate the person who's doing their weight loss journey. But I don't want to see you in your underwear. I don't want to help you pick out your shoes. Which one, y'all? Which one? I don't care. Am I making sense? And I know some of you care. Why? Because notice, you say you don't care, but you care. Am I making sense? Which one should I wear? Which purse should I get? Which blouse should I wear? What's this? And next thing you know, you are now being told constantly that you are good, liked, loved, or ignored. Go to my next slide. So now, what happens when I'm into this, saints of God? What happens is this. I understand this, that because I am in a constant barrage of information, my body was never wired. God never made me to be in a constant response state. I wasn't wired biologically to be in a constant state of response and heightened security. I wasn't, so I'm supposed to be able to go to the movies and chill. I'm supposed to be able to go to the grocery store. I'm supposed to be able to go to church. I'm supposed to be able to drive down the road and not worry about whether somebody's going to shoot me or not. Am I making sense? I mean, now if you think about it, I was driving down the road the other day and I made a wrong turn. And I said to myself, I said, let me turn around. Whoa, no, don't turn around. Not nobody's driveway. So now I make the block. But whereas I used to be able to, let me whip around right quick and turn around. I'm making sense. So now, notice, even my casual driving now is now a obstacle course of perceived threats. Which means that biologically, saints of God, biologically, woman of God, you are constantly in a state of arousal. Because God made us so that we would go to a state of arousal, i.e. a perceived threat, immediately react, Before the information got to our prefrontal cortex, our reptilian brain would say, move quickly, and then turn around and say, what was that? I was looking at I guess it's a Twitter, or maybe it's an Instagram thing they're doing now, where they do the perceived threat kind of joke, where you walking with somebody and then you, and they're like, what? And everybody's doing it online now, and they got people falling over couches and stuff. Because look, some of y'all say, I'm gonna do it to my person tonight. I see y'all evil self. Where you just act like something's there, and because of our state of arousal, if you thinking like us, we run, and then while we're running, we ask questions like, what happened? Where we running from? So, but I want you to understand. I want you to understand that was cute when it was a moment in time. But biologically, I was never wired to be in that constant state of adrenaline flow. So consequently, my heart rate is always heightened. Consequently, my blood pressure is always up. Consequently, I'm now on adrenaline overload. And now I am an adrenaline junkie. Therefore, I'm either heightened or asleep. Either I'm running and panicking and trying to get it done, or I'm sitting in the chair. And then, because of my adrenaline that's still in me, I'll wake myself up. I got to finish something. Like me, I wake up counting 3, 4, 5, 6. So now that means this. That means that now, instead of having the peace of God, we are as a people now constantly in a state of anxiety. But the Bible tells us be anxious. So now that means I'm in a constant state of being in a disagreeable state with God. And I don't even know it. I'm making sense. And then, so my constant state of anxiety then begins to affect my mental health. Why? Because my constant state of adrenaline now means that my body is also saying, what I got to do to slow you down. So your body is now your body is like, I got to give you some cortisol. I got to give you some hormones to bring you down. And many of us, we don't talk about it. How many people, don't raise your hand, but how many people are on anxiety medicine and sleep medicine? And you're taking all kinds of therapies trying to get to sleep, and medicine trying to stay asleep and everything else. And then you take medicine to get yourself up. So I'm walking around medicated just to operate. Which means now that because I'm not getting real rest, my mental health begins to falter. Yeah. Now I find myself so weighed down and so bogged down that literally when I am awake, unless I am doing something to occupy my mind, the darkness creeps in. And I'm sitting there, and I could be sitting at home, and I could be sitting, I'll be driving in the car, and I begin to battle my own mind. I am my worst enemy. Yeah. And so the thing I don't want to do is stop and actually spend time with me. And so what I do is I try to keep myself then busy doing something that occupies me, that keeps me away from me. And so now I am miserable with you, and I'm miserable by myself. And it's all because I'm always thinking about, are they going to get me? Are they going to find me out? I took the job, you hired me, and I still feel like an imposter. I wait for you to get me in a meeting, and I come to the meeting all hyped up. Why? Because I live in a state of distrust. I don't trust you because I don't trust me. And that distrust has led, and that fear and that anxiety has led many to the state of anger. So now when we're driving down the road, you see that man, you see that woman. And listen, they put on bumper stickers that say, try me. And you can't, you're like, I just don't want no trouble. All I wanted to do, I was just changing lanes. And I don't know why, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you driving up behind me all fast and hard. When there's 3 other lanes, there's three other lanes right here. And all you got to do, you can go around me, but you pulling up right in my back seat and looking at me, and I'm like, what are we? It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday. I'm in the slow lane and you still mad. So now, that means now we live in a world of anger and violence. So now, in America, there's been more mass shootings than there have been days this year. There's been more mass shootings than there have been days of the year. And we used to think when I was growing up that the Middle East was a very dangerous place. But now America is even more dangerous than many of those places. Why? Because everybody's angry. And when you see the manifestos of those who've committed these horrendous crimes, it's always laced with I was mad. And I was angry. So now, if you can imagine, I can't go to church without wondering why the visitor whom I'm supposed to welcome is getting up during the middle of service. All right, don't start no mess. No, you got up. I saw you put your hand in your pocket. I didn't know what we were going to have to do. You can't go to the grocery store without looking around and wondering. And you go to the movies and you sit down and you pick out the exits. And you sit in seats that give you access to the exits. So now, am I making sense? You're looking around always because you're always anticipating something. Am I making sense? So when does the peace of God come in? Because I can't be at worship. I can't be at work. I can't even fire nobody these days. You gotta secretly fire people, which you gotta let them know. You gotta say, hey, how you doing? Come here, talk to me for a minute. How you doing? You're fired. Get him out, go. The security guard's already at the door. No, you can't get back to your office. You can't do nothing. We're gonna escort you out here. Listen, we already packed up your stuff when you came to the meeting. So we're in a world now where everything is angry and violent, and everybody's going off. There's violence in the schools. I mean, remember when I grew up, it was a strange thing for a kid to hit a parent. I remember when I saw it on a talk show once, and I was like, "What is that?" And I was like, it was a talk show, and I was like, help, I'm scared of my kids. I was like, what is that? My kids, get out of my room, Ma. And I was like, what are they, where did that come from? But now as a parent, you can't. You got your own child, and if you discipline them in public, the next thing you know, CPS is coming, and people are getting cameras out and everything else, and trying. Some people. I remember when my kids were little. One lady stopped me, and I said, "You better be glad I'm not hitting you." So if I were you, I'd move around. Keep it moving. This ain't none of your business. This ain't none of your business. And they all good. They all well fed, taken care of. They just acting a fool right now. And in about 30 seconds, we're gonna handle this right quick. Right? Am I making sense? But why? Because we live in a world where there's violence and there's fear. And so think about it. Even God's faithful people now are being smothered up by fear. How do you evangelize to somebody you don't know if they're going to hurt you or not? How do you share your faith with somebody who you're looking at like, I don't know what you're going to do with your hands? How do you share your faith with somebody who you know might have you fired the next day or might be offended by what you say? It's a very tumultuous time. How do you deal with a spouse who you really can't stand? But you're married. Oh no! Believe. There are people that exist now. Like, man, we in this thing. And if I tell you how I feel, then I don't know what's going to happen. So then I've got to keep everything status quo. I've got to learn to.
Thank you for worshiping with us today. If you're in need of prayer or someone to talk to, our online ministers are available for you right now in the chat. And we invite you to join us again for our extraordinary worship services every Sunday at 10:30 a.m., Sunday at 4 p.m., and Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Central, where Dr. Moody teaches how to understand the Bible and you can get your biblical questions answered. We look forward to connecting with you and ask that you subscribe to TheROCKATX on YouTube and follow us on Facebook and Instagram to stay connected to all The Rock is doing. Also, you can connect with us through our website at TheROCKATX.org. Again, thank you for worshiping with us, and be blessed.